Hey, small group leaders and hosts. Hope you guys are doing well. We've started off with a bang, and I've just heard great things. Talked to several newer families and couples, and they are just so grateful already. Really appreciative. People are plugging in really quickly, really easily, really excited about what we're doing and what you're providing. So you guys are doing a great job of planning, of praying, and just listening to God saying, what do you want me to do tonight? And it's working. So just thank you. Also appreciate the response from last week. I talked about Sabbath again, and just encouraging you to get on Facebook, to encourage each other, to share with each other, to learn from each other. And you guys are doing it. Facebook is lighting up. And I know for me personally, it's neat to see what God is doing in your life as you sit as His feet and get direction and inspiration from Him. To such a good start is you guys talking to each other and communicating. So it's exciting to see. All right, I want to do a few things. A couple business items I need to run by you. It's important that we're all on the same page. And then also I want to take you through our homework. Many of us are going to go ahead and jump into the Intersect this week. It's going to be a great week to do it. So I'm going to guide you just through a few things, and hopefully it helps you out as you're planning and praying. Okay, first business item. You might have already received an email, or it's going to be coming soon, from Constant Contact. It's not spam. Don't delete it. It's from us. We are going to be reformatting the way we send out our emails to all the leaders, and we think it's going to be helpful for you, and it's going to be done through this website. Also, I want to let you know that in the next week, Steve and I are going to be sending out an email to the whole church. Basically, it's presenting what are some key needs for us right now as a church and what it's going to take financially to meet those needs. It's nothing bad. It's some great opportunities, but with our growth, we're running consistently over 800 now. We have some needs as far as facilities and staffing. And so we're going to explain that in the video, and what buildings we're going to be leasing, how much it costs, also staffing, where our staffing needs are. We're looking to raise our budget about 10%. And so we just want to present it to the church as far as, hey, if this is a way some of you who are not giving can start, or if you're giving regularly, could you assess over the next week and possibly give more, as far as maybe you've been blessed and you haven't reevaluated your giving lately, or there's some areas where you can tighten up saying, you know what, I'll give up Starbucks, no problem, and we want you to know where that money's going towards. So with that said, what I want to give you guys freedom to do is, if your small group, if most people haven't watched the video, we would like you to possibly even do that in the small group, and so everybody's on the same page. We want everybody to know what's going on, and you can even discuss it. It shouldn't dominate the whole night, but to take 10 or 15 minutes saying, hey, where are you guys at with even just praying about this, as far as giving, how comfortable are you guys with doing that and praying that through? And so we just want it to be done in a comfortable way, no strong-arming anybody. But it should be okay to talk about finances, and it should be okay to talk about what the church needs and maybe how we can partner with them. And again, if the giving doesn't go up, no problem. We'll just hold off on some of the staffing, the facility opportunities until the right time. So we're going to do things in a wise way. But I'd love to get feedback from you guys. So how did the video come off? Did it communicate what we wanted it to? What did you think about it? Was it effective? And so if you have any feedback for us or questions, maybe we missed something and people have some questions, please let us know. And again, don't have it dominate the whole night, but definitely feel free to talk about it. We're giving people about a week to pray and think and then respond. So it'd be helpful if you as leaders are participating in that. If you are letting people know as far as, hey, I've already been on, the link, and I've already thought and prayed about, and we're going to be moving forward. And so people kind of feel safe that, okay, the leadership's participating too. That'd be great. With that said, the homework this week, Sammy just killed it. Street Hope Kenya, we don't have the totals. We'll get it to you, but a lot of money is going to be raised. So this is super, super exciting. It's going to be a great discussion topic for you as a small group, as far as not just as a church, but where we individually, as far as being on the go and making sure that we understand that being outreach oriented towards people who are disconnected from God is huge and central to His heart. So I think the first question is a pertinent one and will be easily discussed, as far as questions or disagreements, or what did you remember. I think there's going to be some really good discussion as you go into our journey. I'm just looking off my notes here. As you hit those two, really that question is to help people think through either how have I been doing outreach in my life? Maybe I had an experience back in college. Get them thinking as far as, am I still in that zone, or did I just go to Mexico a couple times in high school and then pretty much forgot about it? It's also good for people to hear each other's journey. What trips have you been on? What worked? What didn't work? And so I encourage you to, if people have gone on trips, to have them share about that, what they liked and how they grew in their faith. And then also, maybe some of us haven't been on trips, but how have we been impacted by someone reaching out to us? And that'll get us thinking, because normally we're going to reach out to others the way we've been reached out to by God or other people. And so to get people thinking, try to attach that for them, as far as this probably will be a way that you reach out, just like Sammy, someone invested in him, and then that's the way God's using him to invest in others with education and things like that. So just want to encourage you to, that's kind of where we're guiding the group through on the second question. On the digging in, you have two passages. And with Matthew chapter 5, what I want to encourage you to get people to think through is, how are you shining? How are your good deeds being done in a way that people see it, and not in a bragging way, but are you being mindful that you can do good things throughout the day and possibly have a conversation with someone about Jesus, or possibly just be maybe just one piece that God's using in many pieces to bring someone to Him. So just having that mindset of, how am I being a light? And I encourage you with this, all lights look different. Some people are going to be different colored lights. So how they reach out, how they glorify God, it's going to look different. Some are going to be more verbal. Some are going to be more hands-on doing things. But we all should have a niche or a way that we know, this is how I glorify God and really shine brightly. I also want to encourage you with this. In that passage, it's about shining bright in a way that attracts people to Jesus, not shining like a lightning rod where we're striking people dead for Jesus. And so it's not something where the gospel should inundate and overwhelm people, but it should be done in a very warm and a very caring way, in a way that makes people curious who our God is, or curious to even seek God. So that's the kind of light that we want to be. In the Matthew 25 passage, that's a little bit longer of a passage, and so people struggle with that. You might want to read that as a group. I want to encourage you to, some of your Bible apps, you can play the passage on that app, and that might be easier sometimes than having people read it, where you're just all listening and you put it on the table. So some of you might want to definitely try it out before you do it in the group, to make sure that the phone works or that there's no bugs or anything like that. But basically the concept in that passage is that a little goes a long way. And notice the illustrations that Jesus brings up. When you visited me, when you gave me something to drink, when you, something that might seem innocuous or just not very impacting, you never know. And so getting us in a mindset, again, with the light of, what are those little things? You might not go to Kenya next year, but what are little ways that you could be doing outreach? What are little ways that you could do things? And Jesus would say, hey, when you did it for them, you did it for me. And you just never know how someone's going to come to Christ. And so really it's helping people to understand, are you having outreach opportunities, or are you even looking at certain aspects of your life as opportunities for outreach? I know for me, when I really enjoyed UFC fighting. And so rather than just enjoying it in my house, just with my family, invite other people, invite neighbors. We've had people come to Crosspoint because of participating in those UFC fight nights, not participating, but watching with us, but they were disconnected from a church and started coming to church because of that. Maybe it's while your kid is playing a sport, view that as outreach. It's not just about the sport. Talk to the parents. See if someone is off by themselves. In conversation, someone has a need and they need yard work done. Let them know, hey, I can come over and I'm really good with that kind of stuff. So be engaged in conversations, looking for ways to be able to be outreach minded and to be going out from this church into your community. So take those passages and try to use it as a brainstorming time to get people to think, how am I light? How can I go do little things? Okay, under the making it real part, you have a lot there. Because I wanted to get some questions. I wanted to help you guys out by having questions that get people to think, as far as, how am I going relationally, financially, or spiritually? And I want to talk about all three of those. Don't be afraid to talk about finances. Now, obviously, we don't need to be asking people, well, how much you make, and are you giving this certain percentage? But we should not be shy about saying, what are we doing? Whether it's tithing and just giving to the church and the church is dispersing that money out, or a ministry that's close to our heart and supporting those people, or supporting Sammy, or going onto the website and supporting a kid and sponsoring them through Street Hope Kenya. So get people to think through all aspects of that as far as how can I relationally connect, financially connect, and even spiritually, how can I connect? How can I share my story? I might not know a lot of theology, but how can I share my story with someone? So hopefully those questions help out. One thing I want to highlight is under relationally, under that section there, in question 3, as far as other local outreaches, you might want to ask people in your small group, do you guys know of local outreaches that you've been a part of that maybe we can participate even as a small group? The outreaches that are on there, those are all people that, the Hope's Community Closet, that's a ministry that was started out of Crosspoint by Chrissy Allen, and that information is actually on our website. And so under missions, there's local missions, and so you can go to our website and get more information on Hope's Community Closet, and also Birth Choice. We partner with them, and they're a local ministry, and 2 of their board members go to our church. And so those are ministries that we're tied to even personally here. And then the Community Mission of Hope, that's actually partnered with the City of Temecula and Rancho Community Church. And so that's it's a ministry. It's not just helping people who are homeless. We actually have the opportunity, Rancho does a great job of putting the gospel in there too. And so it's really neat, the ministry that's going on there. So those are just some local ministries. If you think of more, and maybe even challenge your small group, hey, next week or the following week, why don't we go somewhere? Like, let's not meet in our homes. What if we picked a local place and went out and did some outreach? So don't be afraid to think out of the box in that way, and don't just discuss it and then maybe move on to the next sermon. Maybe talk about it and say, how can we go? And if you can't, maybe meet as a group together, maybe saying, all right, guys, next week we're going to check in with you. How did you go relationally by reaching out? Financially, maybe making a decision to give and do it in a way that supports outreach and missions. Or spiritually, how did you encourage someone? How were you a light? How did you share your journey? Lastly, when you split for prayer time, and I hope that you would get in the habit quickly of splitting with men and women, but here's what I'd like you to focus on for the prayer time this week is I would like you to have the group think of 1 or 2 people that they know are disconnected from God in their family or in their workplace or maybe in a social setting, a recreational setting with sports or things like that, and start praying, commit to praying for them, and then ask God to give you opportunities. And then share that next week to see if some of those prayers were already answered. But have them pray for specific people that God would open the door, or that they would God would give them the opportunity to say something. And pray for them that night, saying, God, would you open their hearts tonight? Would you work on them? And would they know that you're pursuing them? So we want our prayer time to be focused on praying for people who don't know Jesus. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please email Katie or myself. We're here to help you guys. We're praying for you. And so keep in contact. It really encourages us. We appreciate you guys so much. Take care. Have a great week.